Sorry for that delay.
Okay. No, did we? Okay. Usually I get a pop-up saying approve, but I didn't. That's fine. All right. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening for some of us. Thank you so much for joining us. Our basically ISSIP semi-annual conversation. We just wanted to discuss about our first half of some of the accomplishments and what we have been working on and what we would like to work on and what you would like to work on in next half of the year or the future. So, I mean, we had an excellent first half. Later on, we have a couple slides talks about details and metrics programs, some of our new collaborations, and then we also delivered some conference partnership. So we also established some strategic initiatives. As you all know, ISSIP has been, we really believe in the co-creation of value in context of new services, programs. So we've been really pushing this year to partner with some other organizations.
What did I do? Oh, here's the sound.
Oh, sorry. So organizations to basically create new programs. So that adds a value to multiple organizations and also our stakeholders. So, all right, let's go to the next slide. So as you all know, ISSIP has been, almost 100% running by volunteers. So I like to spend a couple of minutes to thanks to the volunteers who have been spending their time for ISSIP and building some new programs, initiatives to co-create value and give it to our, members. Uh, so we have a team called ISSIP Horizons Planning Team, and when I'm talking about these new new programs, new initiatives, new volunteer teams, any of us, all of us are actually welcome to join. So if any of you have some interesting ideas or wants to join any of these initiatives, please reach out to me or any of us in leadership team or anybody in these new initiative teams, so we can join and co-create value. So the first one is about ISSIP Horizons Planning Team. So this team basically was created about a few months ago. Kevin Clark has been managing this team, leading it. So we have Mike Wang, Michele, Carroll, Julie Cook, Jeffrey Borek, Chandra Soreston, basically working on basically what should be the future of ISO, because everything changes, everything moves fast. People, technology, processes are changing, and from ISIP, what are the things we can do better or more improved to provide more value. So that's the ISIP's Horizon planning team is working on. Next one. Next one is I wanted to recognize a few more people. I know primarily Jim and Christine. I'm on the kind of more in the second row of the car back seat. We've been working on a free the fee-based credential program. One of the things we noticed is that there's a service science, service innovation, co-creation of value. These concepts have been floating around in academic literature and some of the industry perspectives. So one of the needs we noticed is we need some type of credential program that educates and evaluates knowledge of individuals in these contents. So we wanted to work on building a new credential program this year. Jim has been heavily leading this program, and we have Jim, myself, Christine, and then Sashant and Antonio have been spending to build these programs. So building the question set, some exam program, education program, those are the content. All right. Any of the things I've been presenting, please let me know. So we can discuss or provide more clarification. So these are some of the metrics. Jim, would you like to go over the metrics? I know Michelle is not
Sure,
available today.
yeah. Michelle wasn't able to join, but she did make recordings, and the recording has been sent around in advance, so everybody should have gotten the pre-event material. Um, I'll just go through some of this really quickly, Haluk, so that we can open it up because we've got a good number of people on, some of the award winners, some of the ambassadors who are working on some of these programs, so we can get into the roundtable discussion. But the growth continues. And I'm just going to move forward with these are the various programs, and we have folks on from a lot of these programs, so we can drill into any of these that people would like to discuss. Um, Again, I think the main thing is we distribute this in advance. Maybe a good initial topic, since I see Kevin is on and you mentioned the Horizon
Right.
Project and the ISIP Live. Kevin, did you want to come off mute and say a little bit about your ISIP Live program and some of the Horizon works?
Sure. We've already had two episodes. One featured Jim Spohrer. We had one just last week with Don Norman, who is both an ISIP Award winner this year and the author of many books. Most notably, Design of Everyday Things is probably the best-selling book. His more recent one is Design for a Better World. So what we want to do is we have about 2,000 addressable people as you know, people in the society in ISIP, but they don't have an opportunity on a regular basis to hear from from each other, to ask questions and to engage with topical leaders. So that's what we created ISIP Live for, is to, on a monthly basis, give them that opportunity. And we're going to grow the audience and grow engagement over time. If you have suggestions of people that you'd like to have on ISIP Live, just raise your hand, send a note. Glad to take that. And just say that glad to have Content Evolution as an initial sponsor. My company, I'm just donating my time as an ex NPR person. So this is a skill that I have that it's easy for me to do, and I do it in other ways. However, we are looking for other organizations to sponsor ISIP Live, and so you should be thinking about, would your employer or an organization that want to sponsor, these thoughtful people gathering on a regular basis? That's where we want to take this. So it's both a community builder and it's a source of revenue for ISIP. So that's what we're trying to do. Back to you.
Great. And we definitely want to get all the board members interviewed on ISIP Live eventually.
100%.
Yeah, and we do have some material from each of the board members a little later, but please feel free, as Haluk said, to jump in. Haluk, did you want to add anything before we move forward on this?
No, I think this is a one example of this partner program. And thanks again, Kevin. You know, this is a type of program you were running in the past, and now we are also creating a co-joint program. Thanks.
Right, so just moving ahead. Um, this shows some of the additional partners. I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time unless somebody wants to jump in. Um, But moving right along, the annual calendar, most people should be pretty familiar with this. And again, Michelle did a little clip that's been distributed already, so people can look at that. Christine, you're on, and you're our vice president. Did you want to say a few words? I hope Christine is still on.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Christine. I don't know if you can see the slide, but this is the slide uh, that in the deck that is about some of the things on your mind. So did you want to say a few things?
Yeah. So thank you, Jim, and thanks to all the uh, leadership members, specifically to the Strategic Council members. So we have this annual Discovery Summit. It's going to be in the fall, usually around October time. And every year we would it's the responsibility for the strategy council rather, to define the topic. So I create a survey, and thanks to everybody who responded. So I think we are in the AI era, so definitely AI is the topic. But then there's so many aspect and facet about AI. And I think many of us are very much interested in all of them. So then the challenge is how to narrow it down to maybe one or two topics we can really do a deep dive at the Discovery Summit. And then, of course, inviting the guest speakers and or the panelists. So that's the ongoing work. And then I was away for a while. So then Michele, thanks to Michele, who did a lot of heavy lifting for me. But I think this is really coming together nicely.
Great. Yeah, and I know, Christine, you're also trying to recruit a new ambassador lead because you're vice president this year, you'll be president next year. And
Yeah.
One of the next things for anybody who's on this meeting, one of the next things we're going to do is have our election of vice president for 2027 and president 2028. So if there's anybody interested in that VP president role, please do send us information about your interest in that. And also, if anybody's interested in leading the ambassador program, that role is open. Anything else on that, Christine?
Nope. Thank you, Jim.
Okay.
So I just want to mention, can you go back to one slide, Jim, quickly? I just wanted to, Christine, as you already know the results, it looks like AI ethics, trust, compliance, and future of work have received the most number of responses. I just wanted to mention one of the participants on our call right now, his name is Ofer. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, Ofer Harmoni. He is one of the gurus on that topic in globally, actually. Thanks for joining us, Ofer. Just wanted to. I spent a very little bit of time with Ofer and learned quite a bit from him when I was participating in Linux Foundation, Responsible Gen AI.
Usually, I learn from you, but
no,
thank you.
I mean, yeah, he is one of the gurus globally, really on this topic. Just wanted to mention.
Great.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Sure.
So thanks, Haluk, for pointing that out. Right. Obviously, in the future of skills, future of work, and those two are are tied together. And then the ethics. I think these are on top of our minds. Why are we kind of a benefit from the power of AI? At the same time, these are the topics that these two topics are certainly the major topics on our mind.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, Jim.
Yep. And this is just a reminder slide about making sure everybody has signed our code of conduct. We've already talked a little bit about the ISSIP Live, but if any of you would like to be interviewed in ISSIP Live or know somebody that should be, definitely contact Kevin, who's on. Haroon, I believe you're on. Did you want to say a few words about this year's Excellence Award? And congratulations, Haroon. I think you just won some prestigious service award as well. Did you want to come on and say a little bit about that?
Yeah, thank you. No, I mean, from the awards perspective, everything went fine. We announced the winners, and I think we got some good publicity this year. So we'll continue to do that, upcoming year as well. I mean, that's pretty much the update on the awards.
Okay. And the three winners, we've got Ofer on. So Ofer, we invite you to say a little bit more about your award. And again, people can learn more about the Don Norman Design Award because Kevin did the ISSIP Live. And I don't know if Nick's on to talk about the Cisco work, but Ofer, I'll look to see if he's on in a minute. But why don't you say a little bit more about your award-winning project, Ofer?
Yeah. So what we do as a company is AI transformation uh, with our clients, and we do it via strategy. So we help the customers identify what they need to do with AI. Then we do the development, the execution of the ideas, and sometimes, especially lately with the new tools and the new capabilities, we also upskill and work and teach our clients to be more independent and run their own AI workflows. So this is what we do, and this is, I think, why you chose us.
Yeah, and in the deck, there's links to all of the short overview videos, and you've got a great one. One of your colleagues made a great video overview,
Yes.
Ofer, so thanks again for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and moving right along, I don't think Vishali is able to join us, but we do have our quarterly welcome. So, each quarter there's an opportunity, and these registration links and stuff are available if anybody ever wants to join one of the quarterly welcomes. It's always interesting to meet, new ISSIP members and see why they're joining ISSIP. This is my slide on mentoring students as part of the AI Collab. We just finished a great one on student CEOs in the AI era that's on the blog post. You can go out and see all the great work that the students did if anybody's interested in that. Lots more coming up. The ambassadors are very active. Frank Mellis, I don't know if Frank is on, but he started the Student Innovation Awards. Julie Cook, I don't know if Julie's on, but she started some new ISSIP speaker series around servitization, where product companies go to service. Cecilia has her AI as a service series. Dinesh came up with a quick start guide for ambassadors. Terry Griffith has been advertising that she's looking for people to contribute to the Hicks Conference mini track on practitioner research insights. I think she's looking for reviewers as well. Christine, I know you're on, so I'm going to call on you in a minute to tell us a little bit more about HSSE. Whoops, I think we'll see that very nice. Let me. Christine, if you're there, you can come off mute.
Yes. Can you hear me now? Because I'm having these kind of technical glitches as well tonight. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, well, the HSSE conference finally, AHFE managed to get scope was indexed, so we're very happy about that. We had quite a response.
That's big news.
Yes, it's very good news, and we had quite a response, more than 40 papers. And particularly also with, the joint session with Marcus on translational service research and design methodology. We have 3 sessions on that topic. And mind you, we also won with that, or Marcus and the team won the AHFE Best Paper Awards this year. So Marcus is going to join us on site as well to receive the recognition. And I understand that Haluk will be there as well, so I hope that we'll have a chance to have a chat and to work a bit on enlarging the HSSE community, because I think also Clara managed to have a new session, and I think all her participants will be there in person. So I think it's going to be an interesting conference. And in particular, I'm very happy to have this new focus with Marcus and the team. And we also are planning in our welcome session, a keynote. Marcus will actually give this keynote on this new approach. And I would be very happy if you could join us online. We're going to share the online link to the conference with you, with the ISSIP community. So there will also be a recording because, it's Istanbul, probably for you, not a very good hour, very good timing. But I'd be very happy if many of the ISSIP community could join us for this introductory keynote. So that's about it for HSSE in Istanbul at the end of July.
Great, great.
And yes, Jim, we will actually call on you again and Lou to also, review some of the papers for our HSSE awards, which we always have, the best paper awards. So we are going to contact you very shortly, and I hope that you will be available to review a couple of papers for the final decision.
Of course,
right?
Of course. And Haluk, are you planning to be there in Turkey for the HSSE as well?
Yes, I will be. I will be actually in Istanbul on that day.
Great.
Oh, great. Haluk, This is great. So meet you in person.
Yeah,
I've only seen you on call, so it will be
It
great
will be very warm and humid.
Oh, yes. And
July in Turkey.
Yes, it's not a good. I told Tarek it's not a good decision. It's not a good time to go there at this time of the year. But anyways, we'll survive. We'll manage.
Good. Yeah, we have our treasurer report here. One of the slides, we talk about building this new program for the certification, the service innovation certification. And let's transition into talking to our board members, because our first goal, which is due at the end of August, is to have 100 multiple choice questions around service innovation. So just for fun, we started collecting some from each of the board members. Haluk is not only our president, but our founding board member. So this one is just the service dominant logic definition of service, Haluk, but I know you've been thinking about these 100 multiple choice questions and how to get them organized. And I don't know if you wanted to say any more in your capacity in the board about this project or anything else.
I mean, I was thinking is maybe reach out to more people on this call to learn from all of us or each of us what type of questions we can include in this credential program. Again, we don't even know what will be called right at this point. Something in context of service signs or service systems, value co-creation, which is that's something I just wanted to mention. So we would love to hear more from some of the other colleagues. What else we can do to design, develop, and start offering such a credential program.
Yeah, I'm going to skip over to Sunil, because Sunil and I had a great conversation, and this was the question you came up with about AI-led development tools becoming mainstream, and what is the role of the T-shaped product owner. But Sunil, you're involved in some really amazing stuff in healthcare these days, and just curious your perspective as an ISSIP board member these days. Any comments for the community?
Yeah, so I've had the privilege, as Jim has on the slide, to be part of ISSIP for a very long time now, and I've seen the organization grow, develop, evolve in fabulous ways. And I think one of the things that's always been a hallmark of ISSIP is the ability to help our colleagues and our volunteers in the industry look around the corner. This mega trend around AI, I think, is just once in a lifetime for many of us. And in my day job, I lead technology and innovation for one of the largest providers of software and hard product for senior living. So I get to see this and live it on a day-to-day basis. And as Jim and I were talking, I thought one of the provocative questions that I'd put forth here is, when you think about AI-led development, and I'm a firm believer in the megatrend around AI allows us to transform not just our own daily work as technologists, but really transform experiences for people. And in senior living, that can mean a lot of different things because at the end of the day, we help our customers take care of your grandmother or my grandmother, right? And it kind of becomes real when you think about it in that context. So when you think about robots that deliver a hot meal to your grandmother sitting in a senior living community, or one that I was at some time ago in Chicago, which is the opposite end of the spectrum. Their competition is the local Park Hyatt. So you've got a very affluent couple that's living in a high rise in downtown Chicago that have very different needs than your grandmother in a skilled nursing facility. How do we think about AI transforming those experiences? That led me down the path of, when you think about it from a software development perspective, what is the role of a T-shaped product owner in this modern age? Because I would argue, and I would love to have a debate with someone maybe offline on how we see that evolving. And that's sort of the genesis of this question. And when I look at how the industry is talking about AI, you've really got all sides of the kaleidoscope, right? You've got on the one hand folks that are like, this isn't real, it's not going to happen, it's a trend, all the way to it's going to transform and have material impact in a variety of positive and negative ways. So I think there's some interesting things to ponder. I've put this question forth to have a debate, and I'm happy to catch up with someone who wants to debate it offline as well, in the spirit of learning and co-creating together.
Thank you, Sunil. And I turned 70 this year, so that aging population is something I think about every day.
Well, if it helps you, Jim, the average age of a senior in congregate senior living today is between 80 and 82. So you've got a long way to go.
Oh, I've got a decade. Okay, thank you for that reassurance. So I see Yasi, and we've got a slide from Yasi as well that people know Yasi is the executive director at UC Santa Cruz for human-computer interaction, but it was the founding executive director of ISSIP. So Yasi's been involved in ISSIP for a very long time as well. So Yasi, what's new and exciting for you, and what do you have to share today on this progress update call?
First of all, really glad to be here and see all the great work that the ISSIP community is doing, and it's really so uplifting to see the organization grow and everyone engaged like this. What I see is going back to credentials and skills and future of work. One thing that I've always observed in the world of design and design thinking was the missing piece, and that missing piece is the service and the value co-creation. And what I see actually with the advent of AI, there's almost a necessity right now where organizations are starting to talk about design in and of itself, user experience in and of itself is not complete without the bigger picture of how do we create value as part of a system of different stakeholders. And it's really refreshing to see that the industry is kind of catching up. And it's great that this community is really on the forefront of, and has been for many years on the forefront of, saying, technology and AI alone in and of itself is not going to solve our problems. Yeah, that's some of my reflections.
Well, that systems point you made was made by Don Norman in the ISSIP live session that Kevin ran as well. So people can go out and look at that too for more on that for sure. And I know Jeffrey Borick is on, he's one of our newest ISSIP board members from IBM, and he just returned from Taiwan, where Jeffrey's also a leader in the Rotary worldwide, which is the largest vocational business-oriented service organization in the world, and a lot of people don't know it, but it was established when the UN was founded. So the Rotary is Jeffrey's leadership role there, leadership role in IBM, and of course now he's a leader board member for ISSIP.
Hi,
And
Jim.
Jeffrey, I don't know if you want to say something.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can see you and hear you.
Great. Well, I'll just be brief, but I'll slightly tweak you, Jim, that Rotary predates the UN.
Oh,
Rotary was founded back in approximately 1901 in Chicago, but Rotarians did play a key role in establishing the United Nations some 45 years later. And there are currently still over 1.2 million Rotarians around the world that are dedicated to a service, skills development, vocational networking, and fellowship. And I'm very pleased to be joining you since recently returning from the Rotary International Conference. Every year they hold an international conference, except of course during COVID. But last year was in Calgary with around 15,000 attendees. This most recent one was on Taipei, and it was attended by over 30,000 individuals, because Rotary in Asia Pacific is just very active and very high growth, where Rotary in some of the G7 countries has mixed results with respect to growth. But the other thing I'll just briefly mention is that in addition to people looking for opportunities for civic engagement, the other question I tossed Jim's way had to do with the concept of social capital, and the idea that a scientist 2.5 decades ago named Robert Putnam wrote a book on this decline in civic engagement and social capital. The book was called Bowling Alone. And why it's relevant today is it goes a long way towards explaining the health of the democracy in various countries, because as your social capital goes down, your functional democratic processes follow it, unfortunately. So there's a short film called Join or Die that you can find on Google that actually resurfaces this work of Robert Putnam's. And it's definitely a trend that, I think ISSIP can help take advantage of as well, because people are looking for meaningful ways to be engaged, to support good works, both in their local communities as well as internationally. Thanks, Jim.
you, Jeffrey. So now we just have open discussion, so please jump in. You can put things in the chat if you would prefer, and we can read them in the chat, or you can just jump in and just give a brief introduction, because I don't think everybody knows each other on this call, but we have a lot of ISSIP ambassadors. We've got Deb Stokes, our past president. Deb, maybe you would want to jump in and say some things, and please, I see lots of other ambassadors with lots of things going on, so please jump in.
Absolutely, Jim. I'm never at a loss for saying great words about ISSIP and the directions that we're moving in. I think that we should be particularly proud of the fact of how the organization is shaping up, how the directions that we're going in. I think one of the things that really makes a key difference is, we were talking about AI in a lot of our conversations, and taking a look at what some of the implications would be before a lot of other groups and organizations were looking at the implications of AI. So I think from our perspective of AI, from a service innovation perspective, we kind of knew this was coming. We were prepared for it. And again, highlight the fact that this is something that our leadership really took pains to make sure what's the information coming, what are we going to do with AI, what are some of the opportunities that we can explore with AI. We had a couple of the discovery summits that featured that kind of conversations. So it's just delighted to see ISSIP is again taking that next step ahead of the rest of the crowd, so to speak. And okay, we've got AI. We're already doing stuff with it. And I think the certification program is going to be a tremendous boost for ISSIP's reputation by providing something that we can actually promote as you'll become a certified AI expert, so to speak, by ISSIP's courses and the opportunities that we provide as part of our organizational development. So, again, just kudos to everybody. It's a fantastic organization, and I'm just so pleased to see the new directions and the higher challenges, I think, that we are going to be conquering as part of ISSIP. Thank you.
Great, and congratulations to
Jim. I noticed Andrew turned on his video. Andrew, would you like to say a couple words about the Cognitive World? Cognitive World is one of the new partnerships we established in last few months. And Andrew, maybe you can introduce yourself. And
yes, hi. So I hope my volume is okay and
perfect.
People can hear me. Thank you, Haluk and Jim. So Haluk and Jim are both on the think tank at Cognitive World. And they were kind enough to invite myself and Lisa Wood to become ambassadors at ISSIP. This is the second session that I've listened in on, and you folks are doing an amazing job at ISSIP. And, and your interest in AI, I think, is very well placed. We like to think that we have some very good editorial at Cognitive World. We've got a number of articles from a young fella at Cisco, Nick Kale, that we published recently. Some of our think tank members, people like Tom Davenport and Haluk and Jim and others, provide some really good content as well. So please feel free to reach out to our website. It's cognitiveworld.com. And reach out to me personally if I can be of any assistance. Thank you for including me in this. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Andrew. And Andrew is the editor-in-chief for the Cognitive World publication. I'm coming from academia, and I've been doing a lot of publications in academic versus, heavy science-oriented academic versus professional outlets. And I personally had a great experience with Andrew and your leadership in the publishing in the Cognitive World. There are about less than 1,000, but very impactful articles have been very timely and impactful articles have been published, and there are quite a bit actually reader present.
Yes, and our intent is to publish articles that provide practical guidance. So there's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of theory, but there is a shortage of articles with practical guidance, and we hope to kind of fill that void.
Right, applied things, yeah.
Great.
Sounds great. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
I see Marietta Baba smiling. So Marietta, did you want to say something? Oops, you're on mute.
Hi, Jim.
Hi,
Can you hear me?
Yes, we do.
Hi, everyone. It's been a great experience being part of ISSIP, and I've really enjoyed this overview and keep thinking about how I can bring more of the social science anthropology perspective in and continue to consider that. I used to go to the human side of service engineering conferences and give papers, but I'm not sure how much social science is making an impact these days.
Which we needed, Marietta. I personally think we really need lots of social science help, especially in the world of AI coming up to the world, right?
Absolutely.
From the education side or the practice side, both sides, actually.
Well, thank you for that, and I'll continue to be interested and to consider how we might connect.
Sure, perfect.
Alex Cass, I see you there. Are you able to say a few words, Alex? What's new and exciting in your world? If you're able to come off mute.
How's that?
That's good.
Well, rather than make comments, I'm actually more interested in asking a couple of questions
Please do.
For the leadership. There was a lot of good content in the slides, but I'm trying to kind of separate the foreground from the background. And so would love to get your sense of, if you're to boil down to, let's say, one really most important accomplishment in the last 12 months, and maybe one biggest gap or open issue that needs to be resolved, change that needs to be made, target you'd like to stretch to, something that, how would you like to see ISSIP and its achievements be different a year from now than now?
Okay, I know my answer to that. That's completing this 4-fee credential program. Doesn't exist now, and I want to see that. That's probably number one on my list. But Haluk, you're the president.
I think for accomplishment wise, I think last 12 months, I believe in December of 2025 for this year's award program, we received I cannot remember the exact number. How many applications we received, Jim? Over 10, close to 20.
Yeah, we usually.
So close to 20 applications, submissions for the award program globally, which we received quite a bit of applications from so many different countries. So I was like so happy, and that in a way I thought, oh, this is great. So we are able to reach out to more people globally in so many different countries and show them value what we are trying to deliver, so they can submit their applications for a consideration for the award program. So I thought as an accomplishment, I thought that was a good accomplishment to be able to. And then our membership is huge, over 2,000 members with 1,000 organizations in 76 countries, and quite a bit participation for the award program. More than 50% was actually international. As a challenge, I've been involved with the ISSIP since first day of what we were thinking, and it's almost 100% run by volunteers, and we really want to create some type of platform. I will say platform. There's no fee. Nobody makes money in ISSIP. It's just a 501 nonprofit, and we really want to create a platform. People comes with ideas, and in ideas we can collaborate, like a similar mind people bring to the table and work on so many different things. Because when I think about service can be so many things, right? This year we are talking a lot about AI. 5 years ago we were talking about service-oriented architecture and service-oriented infrastructure, and then 10 years ago it was customer service. So the challenge is we would love to be able to bring more people to the table for volunteer effort. It can be in any form. It can be 30 minutes a month or 1 hour a month, depends on everybody's availability. So that is.
One follow-up in terms of growth and either strength in terms of membership or in terms of how we perceive the profile of the organization, how high profile is it, how well known is it, et cetera. Where do we assess that? And in particular, geographically, are we stronger in some areas than we would expect to be, and maybe other areas where we would target more remedial activity to try to bring it up to the areas where we're strongest? What's the geographic health and as far as that goes?
Geographic health, probably we are still strong in US and Europe compared to some other countries. That's my thinking. But one other thing I wanted to mention is I made this comment to Kevin last week. We were talking about Horizon. Service concepts or service signs. I had a couple of bullets in my resume, and I uploaded my resume to cloud, and I said, hey, give me recommendations to update my resume for practitioner world. The first thing cloud told me is remove service and service signs, because it said service signs is so academical term. Most practitioners not gonna know, especially in the technology firms, in service signs. And then second suggestion is said, think about how you frame the service, because a lot of people gonna think about customer service. So most of us in this ISSIP world, we actually don't think about customer service as one of many services, but we are more about co-creation of value of experience. But the cloud told me replace service with the experience, which is really interesting. So that's one of the challenge, I think, Alex.
Yeah.
We are still debating how to frame our message, I will say.
Just to reinforce that, when we had the issue of come up in advisory board meetings that I've attended, that the name of the organization has been one thing that's come up a couple of times.
Right.
And the issue, I don't know if the issue is service or professional or service professional. I think one thing that the advisory board sort of identified was that, and I hope I'm not speaking out of turn to say this was a consensus among
No,
the advisory board, was that nobody defines themselves as a service innovation professional, even though many people, I think, are professionals who focus on innovation within services. So I think that's a marketing challenge that we have. People think about service innovation as important. Certainly innovation is important, but as a professional society, and I think they define themselves differently. Typically, they decide that, they are they're HR professionals, or they're consultants, or they're education people. So I think that's one issue that makes it difficult for outsiders to sometimes locate in their space where ISSIP should be. And might be, again, something to return to if you're thinking about, I guess if I was to answer the question I asked at the beginning, it would be that the number of great things ISSIP is doing is not matched by the amount of awareness that people outside of ISSIP have about it. And that's hard thing to fix without a huge budget and all that. We're not going to run Super Bowl ads. So how do we align more with what people think we are, or how do we get that? I think it's less about broadcasting the message louder, because we just don't have the megaphone, but it may be more about making sure that the message that resonates with us is framed in terms that will resonate with the people we want to reach.
Sure.
Great, thanks, Alex.
That was a great point. Thanks, Alex.
We've got 7 minutes left, and I'm just going to start calling on some of the newer members, like Mark Hiddleston.
Right, Mark.
You have some warehouse experience, and you talk about T-shapes. Do you want to introduce yourself so people know you in the broader group here?
Yeah, I'm Mark Hiddleston. I run it's hard to kind of have the same problem, Alex, defining what we do, but we build the inside of warehouses. So we do everything from design, implementation, racking systems, conveyor systems, mezzanines. And I love your question, Alex. And I knew Jim was going to call me because I really love it, but I have very little to say. He's probably going to call me, but I struggle because I consider myself a servant innovation professional. And I'm really still, one of the reasons I'm on this call, I'm trying to figure out what that means. And so I've given myself 3 years to figure it out, because I've been in other organizations before And I think, the first year you kind of learn the acronyms. Some people ask some dumb questions, some good questions. I've been on Kevin, and thank you if Kevin's still on the call. I'm just trying to get engaged and have some conversations with people and share more about what we do. So I was on the Livecast with Kevin. I've hosted Kevin on my podcast. I host a podcast that's kind of a balance between my personal passions. I'm an author, business owner, father, lifelong learner. And so the podcast is the way I've interviewed a lot of my top clients. I've invited Jim. I didn't see if you signed up.
I'm going to respond. I've just been busy, but yes.
I get it. And I knew this was coming up, and thank you for responding. But yeah, I love Alex's point, and I'd love to be a part of it. So I'm here. And also I'm in the, I've always, and this is kind of T-shaped, I think. I'm in the warehouse. We build stuff, but I'm always learning what my customers' problems are and leaning deeper into their problems, even if we can't solve it. Maybe I've got people in my network. I've been doing this about 30 years. I started right out of kindergarten. So I'm here. And so I love this platform. Thank you. Thank you for everybody sharing. And thanks for calling on me, because I wasn't going to raise my hand.
Well, thank you, Mark. And I'll circle back with you. And, if Lou Freund was on, he would be showing his mytshape.com platform. And Alex, that's another thing I've watched over the last decade, just make progress, slow and steady. And I think it helps define the full scope of what the service innovation professional is. Because it's got the social behavioral that Marietta Baba talked about. It's got the technological that a lot of people have talked about, but it's also got the business model stuff that I know Mark has written books about. Michele has his hand up, and then over to you, Haluk, I think probably to wrap up. So Michele from Switzerland, hello.
Hello, thanks a lot for ISSIP. And so I will say only one point about social scientists, computer scientists, service science, and T-shape. I think T-shape is very important. And we have to face very large situations for climate change, for population, for employment, and so on. And many colleagues speak about a multidisciplinary approach, but I think it's not enough. We need transdisciplinary approach, but social scientists do not, in my opinion, do not have the same target for their research as we can have from computer science. There is a question between what is fair and what is true. And that is very difficult to be able to work together for the progression of the society. And I think that service science, as a real science, is the only part of scientific domain where we can work together to produce service for the global benefits, for the society benefits. And we need to have human science scientists with us. We need to have computer scientists with us, but we need also to have service scientists with us. That is a new science, in my opinion. Very interesting, very important for the development of university all around the world. And that is so difficult to work because we need to work about the foundation of any disciplines, about sociology, about law, about computer science too. And the top concept of service science, as you promote, Jim, ecology, is very important. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michele. All right, we are just 1 minute away, and I want to thanks to everybody's time and everybody's words and suggestions, ideas. Please reach out to me, Jim, Michele, any of us, any of the board members, any of the leadership team, any of the, I mean, everybody becomes a leadership, part of the leadership team, right? We all are leaders, I call leaders and team players, right? So I truly appreciate for everybody's time, and please reach out to any of us. We really want to make this more like a multidisciplinary, maybe transdisciplinary organization. Each of us may have some different ideas to co-create some value for purpose X, right? Jim, would you like to want to say anything else?
I agree. Thanks, everyone. And
thanks, everyone.
Please be in touch. I really appreciate the engagement in the call today. Bye for now. Thank you.
Great.
Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.